And it's not so simple. So our friends at Know More, I'm wearing their pin right now, they were the ones who really worked with me to help me.
Rumors are continuing to spread across Hollywood that Justin Baldoni is seriously exploring the possibility of moving forward with an Ends with Us sequel, even if Blake Lively ultimately decides not to return. According to several insiders, Justin still feels incredibly passionate about this story and believes there's unfinished business when it comes to bringing the full emotional journey of the books to the screen. People close to the situation claim he feels the public conversation. It is finally beginning to shift away from the non-stop off-screen controversy and back toward the actual movie itself. After months of headlines focused on lawsuits, backstage tension, and Hollywood gossip, there's now a growing belief that audiences may finally be ready to focus on the franchise rather than the drama surrounding it. Some industry watchers are even predicting that a sequel could attract more attention than the original film, simply because curiosity around the entire situation has become so massive online. At the same time, many fans believe Justin's public image has changed dramatically. Over the last year, before all the controversy exploded, he was mostly known for his acting work and motivational public persona. But now, he has developed a much larger and more vocal fan base that sees him as someone who survived a brutal Hollywood storm. Supporters argue that regardless of who people side with, Justin clearly paid a professional price during the fallout. There are growing claims that some studios and industry figures became hesitant to work with him while the legal and media chaos was dominating entertainment news. Meanwhile, people continue to point out how powerful Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are within Hollywood circles, with many believing their influence created an intimidating atmosphere behind the scenes. According to insiders, Justin is now in a position where he may need to continue producing and developing his own projects, rather than relying on traditional studio opportunities to come his way. What makes the entire situation even more interesting is that Justin reportedly planned ahead from the very beginning. Sources claim that when he originally secured the rights to It Ends With Us, he also made sure to acquire the rights to It Starts With Us, the follow-up novel written by Colleen Hoover. That decision now looks incredibly important because it potentially gives him the ability to continue the franchise regardless of the public fallout. Many fans didn't realize that Justin wasn't just starring in the project. He was heavily involved behind the scenes as a producer and one of the key creative forces responsible for getting the adaptation made in the first place. Insiders say he fought hard for the film at a time when not everyone believed it would become a major success. But once the movie finally hit theaters, it performed extremely well financially and proved there was a huge audience for Hoover's stories. Another important factor pushing the sequel conversation forward is timing. In Hollywood, adaptation rights usually come with deadlines, meaning producers only control the material for a limited number of years, unless another project moves into active production. Reports suggest the clock may already be ticking on the sequel rights, which is why Justin is allegedly eager to move quickly. If development stalls for too long, there's always the possibility that the rights could eventually revert back to the author or publisher. Because of that, insiders believe Justin sees this as the perfect moment to move ahead while public interest is still incredibly high. Some people in the industry even think a sequel could become an even bigger cultural event than the first movie, because the real-life drama has made audiences far more emotionally invested in what happens next. And despite all the rumors, tension, and speculation, there are still people who believe Hollywood loves surprises, meaning nobody would be completely shocked if Blake somehow returned to the franchise in the future after all. The conversation around Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni just keeps getting more dramatic, especially now that rumors about a possible sequel are gaining momentum. Some insiders are even suggesting that Blake's career situation may not be as strong as it once appeared, with claims that major studios and brands have become more cautious about publicly aligning themselves with her after all the controversy surrounding It Ends With Us. That's why some people believe a return to the franchise could actually benefit her professionally, even though the idea of her working side by side with Justin again sounds almost impossible to many fans. After everything that allegedly happened behind the scenes, most people simply cannot imagine the two of them spending months together on another production. The tension, the headlines, the lawsuits, and the public fallout made the entire situation feel beyond repair. Yet Hollywood has a long history of shocking reunions and unexpected comebacks, which is why some insiders refuse to completely rule it out. What really shocked people, though, was Blake's appearance at the Met Gala shortly after reports surfaced that the legal conflict had finally been resolved. Critics online immediately began debating the timing, with many seeing it as a sign that Blake was determined to show she still belonged at the center of celebrity culture despite all the backlash surrounding her name. According to entertainment insiders, the decision sparked intense conversation behind the scenes because the fashion world has reportedly become far more divided on Blake than it was just a few years ago. There was once a time when designers practically competed for the opportunity to dress her. Blake had built a reputation as one of Hollywood's ultimate fashion stars, glamorous, famous, elegant, and closely connected to major luxury brands. During the promotional tour, For It Ends With Us, she was reportedly flooded with designer partnerships and exclusive looks, reinforcing the idea that she remained untouchable within fashion circles. But now, according to multiple reports, that image may have changed dramatically. Some insiders claim several fashion houses became hesitant when Blake's stylists started reaching out ahead of the Met Gala. The concern reportedly wasn't about personal loyalty or fear of backlash from fans, it was about brand image. Certain people in the fashion industry allegedly worried that publicly supporting Blake during such a controversial period could create the impression that they were siding with someone critics online had labeled difficult or divisive. That shift alone says a lot about how quickly celebrity reputation can change in Hollywood and fashion. One insider even claimed Blake's image has collapsed in certain elite fashion circles, something that would have been almost unthinkable just a few years ago when she was viewed as a guaranteed fashion headline. This is where Anna Wintour reportedly stepped in. According to the rumors, Anna personally made sure Blake secured a designer, looked for the Met Gala, and ensured she attended as one of her invited guests. Insiders claim Blake was even seated at Anna's table during the event, which immediately fueled speculation about why Anna would choose to publicly support such a controversial figure during a moment when backlash against Blake was already intense online. Some people believe Anna simply enjoys demonstrating her influence and power within the fashion world. Others argue that she has a long history of standing beside controversial celebrities and attempting to help rehabilitate damaged public images. People pointed to her past support for figures connected to major scandals, including her efforts to help John Galliano rebuild his reputation after public controversy and the way she supported Georgina Chapman and the Marchesa label following the downfall of Harvey Weinstein. Still, many insiders believe the Blake situation may be very different. While Anna may still have enormous influence inside the fashion industry, critics argue that public opinion and internet backlash now carry more power than even the biggest names in media and fashion can fully control. Some believe Anna can still secure Blake an invitation to exclusive events or help her land a major designer gown. But they question whether even someone as powerful as Anna Wintour can fully repair Blake's public image if audiences and industry insiders have already moved on emotionally. That's why the entire situation has become such a massive topic online. Because it's no longer just about a movie or a lawsuit. It has turned into a conversation about celebrity power, reputation, influence, and whether Hollywood's biggest names can still survive major public backlash in the social media era. Back then, Marchesa was practically a joke in fashion circles. People mocked the designs as over-the-top pageant gowns, comparing them to costumes for ice skaters rather than serious couture. At the time, while working as an executive editor at OK magazine, there was enormous pressure from Harvey Weinstein's camp for publications to support the brand. If media outlets wanted access to Harvey's movies and stars, they were expected to attend Marchesa fashion events and feature the dresses in spreads. Fashion editors and magazine executives would show up at the showroom, quietly laughing among themselves at the designs. Yet everyone attended because Harvey Weinstein himself acted like a gatekeeper, standing near the entrance, making sure people were there. What made the whole situation even stranger was how Georgina Chapman seemed completely immersed in the glamorous illusion surrounding her. Whenever she appeared at places like Soho House or other elite New York clubs, she was constantly surrounded by influential people from media and fashion. It gave the impression that she genuinely believed the attention was because of her talent and reputation as a designer. But according to critics in the industry, much of that visibility came from her connection to Harvey Weinstein and the power he held in Hollywood. Anna Wintour and Vogue reportedly supported Chapman heavily because Weinstein could deliver major celebrities and cover stars, making the relationship mutually beneficial. There were even claims that Anna Wintour tried to protect Chapman's place in the fashion world after Weinstein's downfall, though many felt it ultimately failed. The contrast between the glamorous public image and the dark reality behind the scenes became impossible to ignore. While Weinstein projected himself as one of the most powerful men in entertainment, rumors and allegations about his behavior were already circulating privately throughout New York media and Hollywood circles long before anything was publicly exposed. People allegedly knew disturbing stories but lacked enough evidence or in-record sources to publish them. Despite that, the industry still played along with the image building around Marchesa and Chapman because Weinstein's influence was so overwhelming at the time. The conversation also touched on Georgina Chapman's later appearances in high-profile social scenes, including events like the Met Gala with Adrian Brody. Observers describe moments where Brody appeared more focused on cameras and publicity than on Chapman herself, feeding into the perception that much of the glamour surrounding these celebrity relationships was superficial and performative. Toward the end, the discussion abruptly shifted into a sponsored advertisement for OneSkin, promoting its OS1 peptide skincare products as an anti-aging treatment developed through longevity science research.